The following podcast contains very sensitive topics of domestic violence and abuse. Viewers' discretion is advised. Hi guys, and welcome back to Two Sides Podcast with me and my friend Sam.
Hello there, everybody out there.
Today we will be discussing a really sensitive topic, and I've contemplated whether or not to talk about this because it's genuinely so touchy. It's about domestic violence, and I just want to point something out. I do not condone domestic violence, nor will I ever. I've been a victim of domestic violence, so I do not condone any of what we're talking about here today. But today we will be discussing Johnny Depp and AmberHeard and the situation with that. Now, I've been following this entire case from beginning to end, basically, since 2015, so this has been going on for about 6 years or so. And Sam really doesn't know anything about this.
No, I don't know anything. Like, nothing. Not even... Yeah, nothing.
So I'm just going to quickly fill him in. For those of you guys who know stuff about it, I'm sorry, I have to fill him in. So basically, Amber Heard and Johnny Depp were married from 2015 to 2016. They were married for about 15 months on paper. And in May of 2016, Amber Heard pressed charges against Johnny Depp, or put domestic violence allegations out there, saying that she was abused throughout the entirety of the relationship. She requested money from Johnny. She requested $50,000 worth of spousal support, which
When you say requested, do you mean...
Demanded, actually. I shouldn't have used requested because she was in the wrong. And she also asked for a $7 million settlement from Johnny Depp. She accused him of throwing a phone at her, along with punching her violently and smashing things near her, putting her in danger. She feared for her life, basically. That is what she said. She got a restraining order against Johnny Depp, and on that same day, she made a phone call to Johnny when she walked into that courtroom, and there was a tape that was leaked recently that shows that Amber Heard is actually the abuser. It shows that she was violent throughout this whole entire recording. I analyzed it on my own channel. We talked about it on stream as well. I did a Twitch bot on it. We discussed it, and she really does portray the actions of the abuser, and she's really the fire to this whole thing. Basically, she said...
So she twisted it around, basically, is what you mean.
Basically, she was extremely manipulative throughout the entire thing. And there was an instance where he was filming Pirates of the Caribbean 5, Dead Men Tell No Tales. This was in 2017, I would say, and he was in Australia with Amber, and Amber threw a wine bottle at him, severing his finger, and he contracted MRSA, the infection, twice.
You mean MRSA?
MRSA, yes.
Like the superbug thing?
Yes. He contracted the infection twice because of this severed finger. And she also belittles him throughout the entire, completely belittles him throughout this argument because they had a taped phone call, I said, along with an argument that they had. It was taped and it was leaked by the Daily Mail, and basically it shows violent behavior. It shows that she doesn't account for any of her actions, and then we're gonna go back a little bit. Basically, Amber in 2016 had a bruise on her face, like a tiny little bruise that could have been easily done with makeup. And she had that bruise on May 26th of 2016, 2016. She had that on her face, and then on May 28th of 2016, it just magically disappears, no bruise whatsoever. She went into the courtroom with that bruise on her face, along with some scratches that she could have very well easily done herself, submitted it to the courtroom, and
modicum of safety, I feel a modicum of respect,
on May
a little tiny sliver of fucking like, you are in this whether it is good or bad, whether it is good or bad, down and up, lows and highs, tough and easy.
Here again,
Was her friend saying that she was fake?
No, but it shows no signs of bruising or anything like that. And this taped phone conversation and this argument they were having, leaked by the Daily Mail again. She called him a baby. She said, "No one is going to believe you." She recited, I can recite it for you. She said, "I, Johnny Depp, am a victim of domestic violence. Do you think anyone is going to believe you?" Something along those lines.
That's classic abuse.
Yes, and to me, this really angers me because throughout the entirety of this whole divorce and separation, his career has been defamed, basically, and he's been a victim of
so it damaged his reputation as well. There was defamation by her.
Defamation.
Therefore,
yeah.
damaging his reputation.
Yes, and it was to me, it's just she got so many deals after it too. She was on the cover of like magazines, and she had deals with CoverGirl and things like that, and L'Oreal as well hired her as an ambassador, and she has not been held accountable for any of her actions whatsoever. Everyone's taken her side because the truth is she's a woman, and I hate to say it, but as a woman, I think it's completely wrong just to believe a woman. Men can equally be abused as well as women. And this is completely wrong, and she needs to be held accountable. And because of all this evidence of the audio tape being released of the argument and everything else, she could be facing 3 years of jail time for defamation on Johnny's behalf and on her behalf and lying.
This is just developed. This is new news.
Yes, yeah. And she, this is just terrible, and Johnny does not deserve any of this. Johnny actually made an Instagram. So Johnny, if you're listening, hello. I'm a huge, massive fan of you. Like, hello. But no, Johnny is a victim, and it, to me, makes no sense because, like I said, men can be abused very, very, very badly. Maybe even more than women in some cases, because we are in an age and we are in a time, in a very iffy time, where everyone believes the victim, okay? And by that, I don't mean any disrespect. If you're a true victim, step forward, speak up for yourself, and share your story. But if you're going to use it and abuse the Me Too movement, which I've discussed also with Michael Jackson, don't step forward. Like, this is unbelievable, and I can't even wrap my head around it. What do you have to say about it?
Well, so you're saying that she manipulated the kind of new society in which we take on board the rights of women in a much more obvious way and a much more proactive way in order to abuse him.
Basically, yes. And she was using mind manipulation throughout this whole phone conversation. And when she admitted to Johnny that she was a stripper at one time. And she was like, I knew every step of the way of any evidence you would give them, meaning the lawyers, right? And he goes, that's when he loses his shit, because he was trying to make a peace treaty with Amber. He's like, I don't want to go to court with you. I don't want to fight this, right? I want to make amends. I want to stay friends because I love you, okay? And
he said that,
Johnny. And
wow.
And while he was pouring his heart out, the phone disconnected, so Amber couldn't hear anything. But basically then he summed it up again and said, look, Amber, I don't want to fight with you. I love you. I've always loved you. Please, don't do this to me. You're killing me. And I'll submit a clip also in the editing because I think it's really important to have some context
you
here.
should really edit that in. You should edit that in because it gives more context.
I will definitely give more context and submit that clip in. But basically...
Can I also say,
Yeah.
The fact that Johnny Depp said, like, I want to reconcile this with you, possibly, maybe he didn't realize he was being manipulated at that point?
Yeah, but the thing is, he didn't care about being manipulated. He loved her. Point blank, period. And, he really did.
Oh, so he could see what was happening, but he still loved her.
Yeah, and he knew about the abuse, because he was being abused even when they were boyfriend and girlfriend. Like, he thought maybe the marriage would kind of amend that fighting in Amber, which is never a good idea.
No.
I truly think that was kind of a stupid thing for Johnny to do. And I'm not calling Johnny Depp stupid. I love him. Believe me, I have posters all over my wall, girl. Like, believe you me, I do. But no. For Johnny to marry someone that is abusing him already, was a very stupid thing for him to do. But
yes,
he fell into the trap of abuse. And I really think it's important to point out the signs of this so you guys are not a victim of this. If someone is manipulating you to the point where they're bringing you down, you know that they're toxic for you. And if they're threatening to ruin your life, why the hell would you be with them? If you see those signs, run away. Get away. It's not worth it. I am speaking to every single victim of domestic violence here, me included, okay? I was going through 6 years of domestic violence, okay? And I finally escaped that situation. It's never too late to run. It's never too late to leave. And I know it's so fucking hard to leave either an abusive relationship, abusive mom, abusive dad, whatever the situation may be. But I'm telling you guys that it's more deep than just Johnny Depp and Amber Heard. This is a global issue that's going on. And I want to speak to every single woman, man who is going through this. Please, for me, if you're listening and you're in this situation, go. You deserve it. Johnny deserved it. You guys deserve it. If you're in an abusive family, find someone else. If you can't, talk to someone. Because it's so important to see your value, guys. It's so important to finally say, no, I'm not gonna deal with this anymore. I'm leaving. Take that for yourself.
And unfortunately, we now have this situation where the lockdown is creating far more domestic abuse. And now there has been numbers set up, especially for that reason. And people and celebrities are speaking out about it and encouraging people to come forward.
Oh,
because the lockdown has made it a million times worse for abusive relationships.
Oh, 100%. And I just want to let you all know that we are here for you. If you are dealing with something and you need to reconcile to someone or you need to let someone know something, DM me on Instagram. Like, talk to us. We're here for you guys. And if you're in this situation, never be scared to reach out, because talking to someone and letting all of that shit go can help you 100 times better. Because like I said, was in that situation. And I was strong enough to leave. But not all people like Johnny Depp was strong enough to leave. Just know that we are here for you and we love you all. And just know that abuse and bad times, just in general, whether it be domestic violence, whatever the situation is, it always, always gets better, guys. I'm turning this into kind of a more personal, real conversation, because this is important to speak about. Forget that it's Johnny Depp and Amber Heard. This happens everywhere, all around the world. People get beat up, people get injured, people die because of this stuff. And please know that we're here for you, and we will link. I think it's really important to link down some hotlines for all of you who are going through this stuff, to just talk to people. But the new stuff. So prior to the new stuff coming out with the Daily Mail, there was a lot of evidence against Johnny, or alleged evidence against Johnny. There was papers submitted. There was pictures of her face submitted to the court, and that's really all she had. And like smashed glass and stuff like that. But she was the one throwing wine bottles at Johnny and severing his finger. So she really didn't have many evidence, but there were witness statements with Johnny that were hundreds. Jerry Judge, who was his bodyguard at the time, who sadly passed away. But he said there was no evidence of domestic abuse ever. He never witnessed it. And there was also a police phone call.
Oh, wow.
911.
From him or Amber Heard?
From Amber Heard. She called the police. And the cops on May 26th, I want to say, of 2016, came to their condo. I believe they were living in a condo at the time. And even the cops, saw no domestic violence. And you know what's even more funny and ironic about this situation? Amber Heard in 2009 was convicted of domestic violence and was charged with domestic violence in 2009 against her then girlfriend, Ara Tillett Wright. I'm not sure how she pronounces her name, but domestic violence was a thing in that relationship, and yeah. So
did she do time?
I don't know. I don't know if she did time, but. Yeah, it's just funny to me that she committed the act that she's claiming Johnny Depp did. I mean, and Johnny Depp has, like, credible evidence of, like I said, witness statements, the pictures of the severed finger, real bruises. As a matter of fact, on May 26th or May 27th, she did an interview with Jimmy Kimmel after she alleged that she was abused. She had makeup on and everything. And, if you have a real bruise, it usually comes through the makeup. You can usually even see the real bruise through the makeup, right?
And doesn't a bruise get worse as time goes on rather than...
Yeah, it's very hard to cover up, and I'll also submit a picture of her bruises. But basically there was no signs of bruising on her eye, like she claimed, or scratches on her face at all. And she looked, pain-free. She was doing a lot of facial expressions during this interview, which would hurt, if you were smiling and laughing and doing all of these facial expressions. She seemed to have no problem talking about any of it at all. And
well, I think the fact that you said that she had been convicted of domestic violence kind of makes her story not credible in any way.
Yeah, no, it wasn't. And throughout the, marriage, she actually cheated on Johnny with Elon Musk. And
Elon Musk? What a strange and high-profile guy to pick.
Yes, Elon Musk, who happens to be a fucking billionaire, by the way.
Yes.
Which I think, and that makes
me...
He's
a genius, but also extremely unfaithful, and I had no idea he did that.
That makes me strongly believe that this was money motivated. Elon Musk is a fucking billionaire, dude.
Yes, and he does crazy stuff. And is apparently unfaithful to people, which I had no idea.
And at the time, Johnny was worth about $400 million. Of course, when she submitted the settlement for, the spousal support for $50,000 a month, of course he fucking declined it, because he's like, nah, I'm not gonna do that. He paid her $7 million though, and they settled it out of court. This has been going on since 2016. Yeah. And this has been going on really high profile for about 2 years. And basically he was fired from Pirates. That was his biggest role of Captain Jack Sparrow. Obviously everybody knows that he started that role in 2003. That was his first breakout, and he lost it. Disney defamed him basically because
defamed is not the correct word for that. Do you mean that Disney were we're family friendly, so we can't go close to this thing?
Yeah, they fired him because at the time there was no evidence to counteract.
So there was nothing that could exonerate him.
Right. And there was clear real bruising on Johnny Depp's face at the time. And
Disney are very, very cautious. Basically the guy that invented Toy Story?
Yeah.
They fired him because he hugged 2 women inappropriately.
There was a talk of Johnny Depp being hired again because they feel like fucking idiots, because now every single bit of evidence that he has, he was smart, okay? Johnny Depp, my man, me and my mom have this thing, we call him the Depp Man. Okay, so I'm just gonna refer him to the Depp Man now. We call him the Depp Man. So Depp Man has been really, really, really amazing. And been really, really, really quiet throughout this whole fucking thing. He has not spoken out once, except for last year. He lost his mind, and he came out with a bunch of evidence. Along with now going through the trial in court and everything. He has a trial set in August. Not only for domestic violence with AmberHeard, but he also fought another case with the magazine, I think it's called The Sun.
Yeah, that's a newspaper over here. It's a tabloid newspaper over here.
Yes, so they wrote a story.
Don't believe what they read. It's all shit.
Basically
it's all crap.
calling him an abuser. And so he fought that and he won, of course. And now he's dealing with the AmberHeard case in August.
Yeah. I don't think the whole Disney firing him thing. The issue with Disney is it's too big for itself, and if they didn't fire him, basically the shareholders would be so pissed. So.
Well now.
But it sounds like they're rectifying the situation in a way.
Well, now, Amber Heard is being questioned, and she is being fired from a lot of her projects that she
is she
had
what is
prior.
she? What does she do as a job?
Yeah, she was basically fired from Aquaman, where she's being talked because she played one of the superheroes on Aquaman.
Oh, she's an actor. Okay.
Yes, she's an actor. I didn't actually mention that. I'm sorry. Yes, she's an actor. So she's being fired from Aquaman. And the thing is that really pisses me off is that she went to women marches and domestic violence events.
Oh my.
Against that. And
well, I suppose it helps her story that way. It makes her seem more credible.
But also, this is ridiculous.
Yes.
She catfished people, essentially.
Yeah.
And,
this woman sounds very, insidious.
Yeah. She's the devil, basically. And I think action needs to be taken. She is going to face up to 3 years in prison. If he wins and she loses, she's going to jail. And I think she very much deserves it after the fucking bullshit Johnny had to go through. He was silenced for up to 3 years.
It just seems weird to me that she would attempt to do this with such a high-profile person that could easily just be like, she didn't do that. And no one would believe this woman.
Basically. I really don't know how to feel, honestly.
I don't know. I think 3 or 4 years is probably somewhat adequate. Maybe 6, 7 years. I mean...
Yeah, I really think she needs to do time.
Well, she obviously needs to do some time because she has abused somebody in a major way.
Yeah, it's just the thing that she said in this phone conversation, which I'll submit because I really think it's important. After Sam finalizes the editing, I'll go back and I'll submit what I want and stuff like that for you guys. But basically she said, I hate when you split. And by splitting, she means leaving the situation and trying to defume the situation and get away.
Yeah, diffuse the situation.
So he would leave. Yeah. Yes, he would leave the situation and go. Because he's like, I will not do any violent acts to you. I won't fight.
So he kind of took the high road and was like, I'm not doing this physical aspect of this, I'm just leaving.
Yes, basically. And she also said something like, when you poke me so much, I just fucking lose it, kind of thing.
So he then turns around, she turns it around to his fault, basically.
Admitting to being abusive. Not only that, but she threw pots and pans at him. And she's like, one does not negate the other. Basically, kind of deflecting on herself and putting it on Johnny. Making him seem like the bad man in the situation. And that is pure narcissistic behavior.
Yes, it's also classic projection.
Basically, and yeah, I really don't know how to feel about this. I have covered this. I fucking believe it's wrong for Johnny Depp to be fired from Pirates. I wholeheartedly
think... Of course it's wrong,
think...
but Disney would have fired him anyway.
No, but there's talk of hiring him again.
Oh, they probably will. I'm just saying there isn't really a way Disney could avoid firing him, if you see what I mean.
Yeah, but the truth is, and this is going to be my closing for the podcast, is the truth is women can be abusers. If you really think about it here, women, and I'm speaking for myself because I'm a woman, so I feel I can speak on this. Women themselves are extremely manipulative, and they certainly know how to get what they want out of somebody or anybody or something, okay? So they can use that to their advantage and abuse someone. And especially a man who is very nice, very sweet, kind of naive, and dumb a little bit, right? So women can be abusers, and it does happen.
And because today's society is so focused on the abuse of women, that gives them such an advantage, because they can just make up anything and say that he abused me, and the society automatically believes that.
We should not mute victims. We should not mute male victims. Excuse me, that's what I meant. We should not mute male victims. We should not keep male victims, from stepping forward and saying, I was abused.
Yeah, and I think some people think it shows weakness or something if they're a guy, which is not true.
Anyone can be abused and a victim of this. Anyone. It's not just objectified towards women.
No.
You know, and I think we really need to think as a society and as a whole, this is not okay, what we said. And we really need to think about things like this. We really need to have these conversations. We can't be scared to step forward. If you're a man and you've been abused, step the fuck forward, man. Like, this is your time. You should be able to. And I'm so sorry that all of you men out there who have been silenced, due to our society, we as women have ruined it for you. We have played the victim. But the truth is, not all women are victims. Women can lie, guys. It happens all the time. I've seen it. I've seen manipulative behavior. I've seen gaslighting. I've seen it all throughout my dad's relationships. Besides my mom. She never did any of that stuff. But I've seen manipulative behavior. I've seen crazy behavior. And I've seen my dad being threatened by half of his girlfriends. Just exactly like AmberHeard has done to Johnny Depp. This is not okay. We need to open up this conversation. We can't be scared to have these conversations. We need to really think about all of the human race, not just one sex. Because especially in a time like this, where we're stuck in our houses and we can't leave our houses because of this coronavirus, we really need to listen to each other. We really need to love each other, and we really need to understand each other. And that is my message. Speak up if you're abused, and love each other, dudes. Like, this time, we really need to listen. Also, listen. If someone is being abused, don't shut them away. Listen to them. Whether it is a man or a woman. And never accuse a man of being weak because they've stepped forward. If anything, that shows their strength. That shows their integrity. And that shows they're strong enough to step forward. So yeah, that's basically all I have to say. Anything you want to add?
I don't think that me adding anything would help what you just said, so I guess we are wrapping up.
Thank you guys so much for listening. This kind of turned into real life because this situation is real life, and it's not what just happens with celebrities. This is real, and we need to listen to everyone that's been abused. And ironically, we need to listen to two sides of the story. Right? We need to listen to both sides of the story. We can't just listen to one and assume that is the truth, because there has been so many people victim to this particular behavior and particular treatment by the media, whether it be celebrities, whether it be a man on the road, whether they're not famous or not. This shit happens, and we need to be more aware. And we really need to research this stuff. I always say to people, research this shit.
They don't.
It is real.
They don't research it. They don't. They just read the newspaper and are like, okay, this happened.
All of you people that have read the newspapers and have read everything online and have researched this case, I commend you. Because you took the time to hear out Johnny Depp, hear out his story, and hear out his truth. And you didn't take one side, which was very weak in evidence, and you analyzed it, and you rocked it. So, I am a Johnny Depp fan, and I will always stand with Johnny Depp. And, I will always stand with people who have been abused, whether they be a man or a woman. I will always stand with you guys, and you're never alone. Anyways, guys, I hope you enjoyed this podcast. I know it was a very deep one. Let me know what you guys think, or let us know what you guys think in the comments. What do you feel about this case? I know it's a very touchy situation, and I know it's a very touchy subject, and I was really contemplating not talking about this because it was just something that to me was really deep. But I feel in this time we need to get deep. We need to have these conversations. We only have each other, and we need to listen to one another. Anyways, guys, I love you all so very much. And next week we will be talking about the coronavirus. We want to do a podcast on that and the importance of it, because I really think we're in a state where we do need to raise discussion on this. Anyways, guys, let us know what you guys think in the comments, and we'll link all our social medias down below, along with hotlines for domestic violence, because I really think it's important.
Yeah, I'll put in some UK ones.
UK, US. I'm in the US, he's in the UK, so we'll give you all the links and resources to help you, because like I said, you're never alone in these situations, and there's always things that you can do to stay safe, to stay strong, and to stay powerful and get your power back. Allow yourself to have that power to speak up, and don't put up with any of the bullshit you're going through right now. Anyways, guys, we love you. We'll see you guys all next week.
Okay, bye, guys.
Thank you guys for watching or listening.
Or both.
Bye, guys.
Okay, bye.